Everyone, welcome to the history class. In this video, I'll be continuing with the fourth theme of class 11th history, that is the Central Islamic lands. Students, in my previous video, I have discussed about the Islamic trade. They have used both water bodies and the land routes to expand their trade in Europe, Northern Africa, Middle East nation and Southeast Asian nations. In this video, I will be discussing about the fiscal system. The fiscal system and the market exchange increased the importance of money in the Central Islamic lands. Coins of gold, silver and copper were minted and circulated on large number. Gold came from Africa, especially from Sudan, and silver from Central Asia. Precious metals and coins also came from Europe, which used these to pay for its trade with the East. Rising demand for money forced people to release their accumulated reserves and idle wealth into circulation. The greatest contribution of the Muslim world to medieval economic life was the development of superior methods of payment and business organization. This is important. Letters of credit were used by merchants and bankers to transfer money from one place or individual to another. So this is how they used to do the exchange of money in a safer way. Islam did not stop people from making money as long as certain prohibitions were respected. For means when they were doing these economical exchanges, they kept the religious things in their mind. Like certain practices were considered unethical. For example, interest bearing transactions were unlawful, although people circumvented money, borrowing money in one type of coin and paying in another, while disguising the interest as a commission on currency exchange. This led to the origin of Bill of Exchange. Now, there are sources from where we get a important picture of the Islamic society, like the tales from the 1001 Nights, which is also called Alif Layla wa Layla, gives us a picture of medieval Islamic society featuring various characters such as sailors, slaves, merchants and money changers. So this gives us an idea that the Islamic society was becoming complex. Urbanization was taking place. Here are the Islamic coins, the gold and the silver coins, and as you can observe, no figures are there in the coins because it is strictly prohibited in Islamic art to draw human figures or mint, right? So they used to only the text, written texts were used for minting the coins. Now talking about the learning and culture at that time. For religious scholars, who are also called the ulemas, knowledge, that is ilm, derived from the Quran and the model behavior of the Prophet, was the only way to know the will of God and provide guidance in this world. The ulema in medieval times devoted themselves to writing tafsir and documenting Muhammad's authentic hadith. This is the contribution of the ulemas. They preserve the teachings of the Muhammad and they have done the interpretations of the hadith and Quran at that time. Some went on to prepare a body of laws which is called Sharia. This is important. Islamic laws are called Sharia. So this was the time when the Sharias or the Islamic laws were written, especially to govern the relationship of Muslims with God through rituals and with the rest of the humanity through social affairs. In framing Islamic laws, jurists also made use of reasoning, since not everything was apparent in Quran or Hadith and the life has become increasingly complex with urbanization. So even reasoning was used while writing the Sharia or the Islamic laws. Here are some pictures of ulemas and hadith. This is how they used to write, and in this picture of hadith on side you can see the beautiful calligraphy is done. Calligraphy is the beautiful way of writing, art of writing. Now talking about Islamic schools. Differences in the interpretation of sources and methods of jurisprudence led to the formation of 4 schools of law, that is Mazhab, in the 8th and 9th centuries. These were the Maliki, Hanafi, Safi, and Hanbali schools, which each named after the leading jurist, the last being the most conservative, that is the Hanbali. The Sharia provided guidance on all possible legal issues within Sunni society. The Sharia was adjusted to take into account the customary laws, that is urf, of the various regions as well as the laws of the state on political and social order. Means Islamic empire was such a huge empire, and there were regional variations in the laws. So when Sharias or the Islamic laws were written, these regional variations were kept in mind while writing the final laws. In most regimes, the rulers or his officials dealt routinely with matters of the state security and sent only selected cases to the Qazi. Qazi, appointed by the state in each city or locality, often acted as an arbitrator in disputes rather than as a strict enforcer of Sharia. Right? So, the cases were dealt by the Qazis. Here is a picture of the Islamic schools. Now, talking about Sufism. Group of religious minded people in medieval Islam known as Sufis sought a deeper and more personal knowledge of God through asceticism and mysticism. In the 8th and 9th centuries, ascetic inclinations were elevated to the highest stage of mysticism by the ideas of pantheism and love. Now, what is pantheism? Pantheism is the idea of oneness of God and His creation, which implies that the human soul must be united with its maker or with the God. Unity with God can be achieved through an intense love for God, which the woman saint Rabia in Basra preached in her poem. Rabia was considered to be the earliest Sufi saint, and in her songs, in her poetry, this intense love for the God is reflected. Bayezid Bistami, an Iranian Sufi, was the first to teach the importance of submerging the self in God. That is called fana. Sufis used musical concert to induce ecstasy and stimulate emotions of love and passions. Sufism is open to all regardless of religious affiliation, status and gender. This is important. Sama gathering became an important feature of Sufism, where the people used musical instruments and songs and especially devoted to the God. They used to perform dances and through music they wanted to just achieve the God. So such Sama gatherings, the musical gatherings, they used to perform. Then Sufism was open to all. Means Sufism, there is no place for the divisions, different sections. All people are equal. Sufism gained popularity and posed a challenge to Orthodox Islam. Those people who were fed up with the religious rituals. So Sufism attracted them, and they started following the Sufist ideas. An alternative vision of God and the universe was developed by the Islamic philosopher at that time and the scientists under the influence of the Greek philosophy and science. And on one hand, such religious things were taking place, and on the other hand, in the field of science and philosophy, the Islamic people got influenced by the Greek, and they have contributed to the field. Here are some pictures of the Sama gatherings of the Sufis. This is how they perform music and dance and achieved their God. So I'll conclude this topic here. Thank you for watching this video.